Yeah, we came to the last one, 6263 on the left angle cross of this distraction. And it's the end of the wheel, just before the 41. We made it. Oh my God, I can't believe it. What a relief. What a release. How good it feels to get something done. Thank you. Okay, here we go. The 6 2. We get to the 6 and we get to rigidity. This is when absolute rigidity is essential, but when innovative application to lessen its severity. A fixed energy that is unusual in its capacity for restraint. These people can be so dogmatic and so restrained that they end up being permanently and chronically depressed. When you look at all these lines for the six, this is perhaps the most difficult of all the lines of the six. All 64 of them, this is very difficult. You're at the end of the cycle. You get to the sixth line and it says, it's nice of you to mutate in this life, but you're still going to die. Nice of you to be available for evolutionary potential, but you're still going to die. And there's no reward for you being mutative. You're still going to die. Not only that, but your example won't last beyond your death. The five lives with the illusion that they'll be remembered by sheep generation after generation. The six realize that as an example, and only as an example, when they're dead, they're forgotten. I was thinking about a lot of things in that concept. It has this uncompromising. You see this in the built-in mutative potential of the six. It does have to go to three cycles. Nobody else goes through that. So there are enormous demands on the physical body. We already know that because we talk about it being physically fragile. And they're very restrained. That is, six, as an example, will know and will clearly recognize all the limitations. They're going to be wise after all. So they're going to be enormously restrained, which means they aren't necessarily ever going to find the soulmate. It means they have to accept that perfection is something that will not exist. To accept that in the realm of what it is to be human, that trust is something that's deeply limited, and also to understand that being an example is not in and of itself something that deserves an external reward. The six has to come to grasp with being different than the five. When you see a five and a six at life angles, you can see them that the five is always determined to make their mark in history. The general, the saint, the savior, you remember them all. But when you look at the role model, yes, some role models, every once in a while, somebody says, gee, there should be more Gandhis, but we have a tendency to remember the five as their father figures, these leaders, these forces that changes our life. And the six has to see that they're more advanced than the five, and yet they don't get what appears to be the best reward. The five gets the glory. Even when they're burned at the stake, they get more glory. Jean Arc, the Joan of Arc syndrome, burned at the stake, they remember you forever. So the heretic gets its glory. That's their trip. I will go down in the fires because they remember me forever. I'm very aware that I'll still be around long after I'm dead. I'm a heretic. I understand this principle, but it's not the same reward for the six. The six said, so what the five guy introduced, I actually have lived it and nobody will remembers me. And they're pissed. It's like, hey, I'm getting a rotten deal here. Where's my immortality? That we get to the crux. The five has figured out how to beat death. Not beat death, but becoming immortal in other ways. It's how you transcend the limitation. Somebody will read something of mine and hear my voice long after I'm gone. Not that it's going to make any difference to me now. It's interesting, but the six is so different. They're the next step. They're the ones who say, I don't need to be remembered. What a stupid thing is that? I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not going to get anything of it. What is this? Why do I care whether they know how when I'm dead? When I'm dead, I'm dead. That's a great relief. The real limitation is the rigidity of all this. This is the way, man. I live my life. I live it correctly. I live it as best as I can. I live it as an example. And I die, and nobody ever knows about me. That's our future in the idealized sense. Each being living within the limitations of their uniqueness. When absolute rigidity is essential, but with innovative, to be an example can be fun. And you can be an unusual example. And you can have a good time living your example. But you know that there is no reward because the door is shutting. If we don't have six, we wouldn't really get to the point of recognizing that incarnations are intended to be open and door closed experience. That's all. And that's for the six coming back is more important than being remembered. The five basically lacks that religiosity, that spirituality. The five says, I may not be coming back. I don't know about all that crap. But what I do know is that they're going to remember me. The six is always interested in one thing. I'm going to come back. It's okay. I'll come back. I have another life. I'll have another go. This is the game. I don't have to make any great marks in the sand. But you see, it's the six is deeply conditioned in this area by the five. It has been for a long time. This basic need to leave a mark is an example. Most people think that when I talk about the six coming off the roof to set an example, that they in fact become teachers, that they become fives or fours. They don't. They just live their life, whatever that life happens to be. And there isn't anything about you follow me and you be on my side and you tell me my grandkid that it was great. It's not their movie. Oh wow, that's a great relief for all you six lines. Yeah. Yeah, what does it mean to be remembered when you're dead? It's to be remembered when you are alive, or at least to be seen when you're alive, when you're perfect, your own perfect doing. The sixth tree. When we get to the glories of the sixth tree and it looks at the 41 and thinks, I want to come back. Whenever you see a sixth tree, it doesn't matter what cross they're on. Deep down inside of them, a chemical mantra that says, I want to come back. That's what they're here for. They're the ones there that are always guiding us to the next place. They're always taking us to the next head run. When you think about the relationships between the 4-6 and the 4-1, which is there, we put all our attention. We rarely talk about the relationships between 6-3 and the 1-3, which is just a profound of a leap. Remember, when you're talking about the transition from the 4-1 to the 4-6, we're talking about the unconscious shifting of 4-1 to the 5, for the 4-6 to the 4-1. Yeah, sorry, type mistake. When we're talking about this transition from the 6-3 to the 1-3, we're talking about the personality shifting. There's two very distinct bridges, and they're the essential binary of what becomes the wheel of life. It's not enough that you go from right angle to the left angle, but you go back to the right angle, and there's no juxtaposition. There's just the 6-3 stepping into the 1-3, and the 6-3 up there. It looks over there and says, I don't believe it. It starts again. It actually starts again. I don't believe it. It actually starts again. Then you have 6-3s who say, can I die now? I want to try this out. Oh, I want to start again. This life is worth shit. The next one is going to be better. It's amazing. This movement between 6-3 here and the 1-3. It's like this believable. I hope you have that feeling mutation. It's endlessly hopeless. The whole quarter is so hopeless. The only solution is be busy with something, anything, to the point of obscuration, distraction, you name it, any piece of shit that's going to keep you away from thinking about how terribly terminal all of this is and pointless. Then you get to the 6-3 in the 60, limitation after all. And after that very edge of limitation, there's a view that says the next thing is a start codon. What do you mean the next thing is a start codon? Isn't this the end? I love concept where the beginning is at the end. The 60 looks over there and says, is it possible? Is it really possible that it starts again? And you see that not only do we have the fantasy, but the fantasy is followed by need for it to start again, a deep need for it to start again. And all of our spirituality and religion and religiosity religiosity about heaven, hell, about life's karma, you name it, all that stuff is packed into a view of the 6-3 looking over, and they become the example of all 6-3. Become the example of, I don't really care about this time. There's going to be a next time. Now, it's not like they express it that way, but like the 6, it can be suicidal, that it can let go to a point. You know, the great 6 line of the 33 in the retreat. This is absolute incredible ability to just let go and let go because you know it's not over. It's just an illusion. The limitation is an illusion because you can see there's another start. You can actually see it. It's quite a thing. So yeah, keep up the good energy and keep up the good faith because you could easily get lost in depression here. That this is the end. So don't do that. Stay healthy.